Hey, this is Bryce Harper, and welcome to the Phillies Show.
Hey, everybody. Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zalecki. It's the Philly Show. It's Friday, May 23rd, 2025. Gentlemen, how are we today?
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. It's Memorial Day weekend.
You know what? On Memorial Day weekend, you're allowed to say it's no longer early in the baseball season. No, this is when you can finally say it. It's no longer early.
That's right.
All the people I annoy by saying it's early, it's, in 2 or 3 days, it's no longer early.
So you can't say it anymore, Jim.
Can't say it. It's like it's like wishing somebody a happy New Year on January 20th. It's just too late.
So true. Well, Jim, it's no longer early, so we got to talk about this then. The Phillies sweep the really lowly Rockies this week.
Oh my God, they're an embarrassment.
That's a bad team, guys. That's a bad team. But they did what they're supposed to do, right? They throttled a really bad team. They won Thursday 2-0. First shutout at Coors Field by the Phillies since 2011. So they sweep the 4-game series. They've won 7 in a row. They're 32-18 overall. It's the best record in the National League. They have a 2-game lead over the Mets in the National League East. They're on pace to win 103 games. Not saying they're going to win 103. We don't know what's going to happen, but they're playing pretty good baseball right now.
Sure are. Getting good pitching. I mean, they had 50 hits, 50 hits in that 4-game series in Colorado. 50 hits. It's a lot of hits in one series. I know it was a 4-game series.
Yeah.
But, their bats have been good. Harper's been on fire. Turner's got like 30 hits this month. And the month's still got, 10 days to go, 8 days to go?
Yeah.
Bone's been swinging it good. Harper's swing has calmed down. His feet, when his feet are quiet, he doesn't have happy feet. When he has happy feet, his head moves, his eyes move. He doesn't square it up. He's very quiet in the batter's box right now. Feet are quiet, and he's squaring it up. Swing, he's just letting it happen. Nice, easy swings. He's such a strong man. He does not need to swing violently, and he just looks really, really good right now.
Slow feet, quick hands. That's what Charlie used to say all the time.
Yeah.
The guy that's really swinging the bat well for me is Turner. He hit a home run. I think it was Thursday. Is that right? No, it was
Wednesday.
Right. It was Wednesday to left, and the swing looked very much like his WBC swings. Just nice, level, smooth swing, pull side, backspin, high finish, bat through the zone flat, nice backspin, loved it. And, he's also hitting the ball to the opposite field. All the guys are using the whole field. And, who's been the most consistent guy is Castellanos. Just keeps getting his hits. He's not hitting the ball out of the ballpark, but he's getting his hits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy's hitting, I think he's still hitting 300 or close to it.
Yeah. He's been tremendous. What about do you think it's what about Harper shaving his head, man? The guy's been on fire since he shaved.
It's all about the weave.
It's all about yeah. Got his wig busted. Next thing you know, he's caught fire. I looked at this. So he shaved his head on May 12th. He goes 0 for 3 that night with a walk against the Cardinals. In the next 9 games, he's batting .471. He's 16 for 34, 5 doubles, home run, 10 RBIs, a 1,200 plus OPS. Here's the thing that's amazing these last 9 games. I mean, all those numbers are amazing. Like anybody would kill to have a 9-game stretch like that. He's got 4 walks in that stretch. He struck out 1 time in the last 9 games. 1 time in the last 9 games. So,
bueno.
Yeah, bueno.
You mentioned the hair, and it has zero to do with the hair.
What?
But it has zero to. But I am a believer in this, that the mind can lead the body in a lot of ways.
Uh-huh.
And I do believe in certain instances in a mental reset. And if that can be the symbol of a mental reset, start anew, you just find it's like, kind of like once a year when I clean off my desk. It's like
cleaning.
Yeah, it's like a mental reset, and you have like a really good week after that. And I just wonder if symbolically cut his hair, but it acted like it served as a mental reset, kind of a cleansing breath, and maybe it just helped something. Maybe it slowed him down, but who knows? Like I said, it has nothing to do with the hair.
So
there is something to say about the game of baseball being what 80% or 90% mental.
Yeah, you had
I mean, you have to deal with a lot of negativity, and sometimes a reset ain't the worst thing. Todd?
No, I was going to say, so in September of 2023, the Phillies were in San Diego, and Bryce was really going through it at the time. It was early September, and before one of the games, he shaved his beard, so he's totally clean shaven. I mean, he popped out of the dugout. We're like, you see somebody has shaved their mustache or beard for a long time, it's just jumped out at you. So after that game, I think it was Matt Gelb goes like, so why'd you shave your beard? And Bryce goes, I mean, you guys know. Everybody knows. And then so he goes 0-3 with the walk that night in San Diego, just like he did the first night he shaved his head in St. Louis. And then in the final 22 games of the 2023 regular season, Bryce batted .294, 6 home runs, 17 RBIs, and OPS over 1,000. So, but the last two times he's done some hair work,
cleaning,
little cleanup work. He's caught fire. So maybe there's something to that. I wish I could do something.
Yard. Last couple of times he's trimmed the yard. He's gone.
Yeah, exactly right. He has heated up, and so it's Phillies are on a roll right now. But guys, it's Memorial Day weekend, and if you're not going to the shore, and I'm not going to the shore, so swing by my neck of the woods, come to Delco, let's hang out. Delco, they say it's a lot, and they're right. We got everything, as you know, guys. Family fun, festivals, great restaurants and bars, gardens, history, trails and outdoors activities, and much more. Take it from me. I'm a Delco dad. Check it out for yourself this weekend, this Saturday, May 24th. Don't miss the Swarthmore Town Center Farmers Market, which is every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon. It's in the Swarthmore Borough parking lot. Great vendors, music, and crafts for the kids. I've been there. Give the kids a little shave ice, pick up some food for dinner, walk around. A lot of cool stuff to buy, so check that out. Then on Monday, May 26th, it's Memorial Day. Don't miss the Rockdale Memorial Day Parade in Aston. It's in its 144th year, which is pretty cool. I did not know that. Free hot dogs, pretzels, drinks, and Italian ice for the kids, plus a special gift for veterans at the hospitality tent, which is pretty cool. Parade starts around 11:15. Find a full list of events at visitdelco.com. They say Delco's a lot, and they're right. So
I'm still waiting on my visit, on my invitation.
We will make it happen.
Is that parade like 1 year older than the Phillies? What is this? 143 for the Phillies?
Oh, I'm not sure. Wait,
or 144.
Well, now you got to ask me to do math, Jim.
1883, maybe? I don't know.
That's pretty wild, though. Phillies have been around.
It's like in the same neighborhood.
So get back to us. Call in 1-800. Tell us what the math is.
I think Sliding Billy Hamilton was the first grand marshal of that parade.
You grand marshal,
huh?
Jim, were you the first one?
Who?
Jim, were you there?
No, I wasn't there. No.
Yeah, so check that out in Delco. That'll be fun. Like I said, I've been to that Swarthmore farmers market before, and it's a good place to go check out and walk around. So a couple things from this week I wanted to get your guys' opinion on. So in Denver this week, Rob Thompson told the reporters there that after Taijuan Walker's start, when Aaron Nola is ready to rejoin the rotation. It could be soon. He's going to throw off the mound this weekend in Sacramento at some point. They think he's going to be back, close to, the 15 days, if not 15 days and not long after that. But when Aaron Nola returns, they're going to move Taijuan Walker back to the bullpen, of course. And he said that they are going to keep him in the bullpen So in other words, if somebody would have to miss a start or whatever, they're going to try to bring up somebody to take that guy's place and keep Taijuan in the bullpen. And I wanted to ask you guys about that because, they got to start figuring out what guys can do with Alvarado out for 80 games and ineligible for the postseason. You got to figure out can Taijuan actually be a high leverage guy before the July 31st trade deadline? Man, if he can do it, boy, now maybe you don't have to go out and get two guys if they were thinking they might need to get two guys. Do you guys like this idea?
Well, that's definitely what it's all about, finding out. And the spot start thing, it's no coincidence that it comes a few days after McAble's gem. They feel confident they got somebody who can spot start there. And, we're counting down we're getting closer to Painter. So those are your two guys that they would start if they needed someone. But yeah, you got to find out about Taijuan. And it has to start now. So I still think they're going to need somebody at the deadline. We'll see what level of reliever they need. But I think you're going to need a leverage guy toward the back end. I thought they needed one before Alvarado. I think they're still going to need one. But if Taijuan can go out there and pitch in with that split, maybe, that split works against lefties, we'll see. Obviously, they're down a lefty. They're going to need somebody who can get help with left-handed batters. Maybe it's him.
So when you say they got to find out about him, there's layers to that, right? So first, it's can he pitch deeper in the game in high leverage situations? That's one. Can he get up and get ready? That's two, because he hasn't really had to do that. He's really been the long guy. So he's already been, he's basically, knows when he's going to be coming into the game sort of, and has had time. He's not going to be coming in necessarily with traffic. I mean, all those things, there's a lot of layers to pitching in the 7th, 8th, and 9th that are really different from being a long guy or just a pen guy. And they got to find out whether he can make that adjustment, and it's going to be gradual. So I think it's going to be okay. We're going to give him a clean inning in the 7th. We're going to give him a clean inning in the 8th. We're going to give him a dirty inning in the 6th or 7th. I mean, there's a whole process, I think, that has to happen, and they don't have the luxury of sending him down to do that. So they're going to have to find out if he can do it in real time to win games, and then they're going to go from there.
I mean, what a great, story he's been already, and what a kind of a great story it would be if he can actually do this. And, a guy that every fan said, why are they bringing him into spring training? Cannot believe he's starting the 6th game of the season. I think it was the 6th game of the season. Unbelievable. And, he pitches great in the rotation, and now they might be able to lean on him as an unexpected, producer and back into the bullpen. It's great.
I'm going to, like back in the old days, the basketball players, when they had a foul, they had to raise their hand. I'm going to raise my hand. I didn't think he was going to be in Clearwater back in August and September, October. I didn't think he'd be back. When I saw him take the mound, I saw the guys behind him look beaten. And I just didn't think he'd be back. So hats off to him. He worked really hard. He's shown a lot of character. He's gotten a little bit of a tick or two on his stuff, on his fastball. That's helped everything else. And he really has shown a lot of character. And, from a guy that a lot of people thought they should have said goodbye to now they're, making plans to, they started him early in the year. Now they're making plans to see if he can pitch in leverage. He's really become a very important contributor to this team. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, same here. I mean, for him to work his rear end off, I didn't think he was going to be able to build that arm speed back, and he has. And they're hoping that he gets another extra tick, when he gets to the pen and he's only throwing like 1 inning, where he can kind of empty the tank a little bit more. So it's an interesting process. It's an interesting development for the season, but you have to have those things happen when you're trying to win a World Series. Good things like that have to happen. And sometimes your biggest heroes you really weren't necessarily counting on.
Mm-hmm. That's right. 100%. So when we come back, I want to ask you guys about what sure looks like a regular full-time old-fashioned platoon at second base.
FT fam, let's talk about the HOF app. If you're into parlays, but sometimes you're missing the mark more than you would like to, can I introduce you to some serious analytics on an app that is easy to read and comprehend? And I'm sitting next to a man who knows how to place a parlay.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is breaking down a parlay with this Hall of Fame app. There's the situations that you'll find easier to do. It's very helpful and understanding. And if you like, gambling, sometimes this is really good to know. So get on there, get on that Hall of Fame app and check it out.
Yeah, this is info that will help you, okay? With a 4.9 rating in the App Store and over 6,000 5-star reviews, safe to say that HOF has already helped a lot of people bet smarter. For a limited time only, FT listeners can get a 7-day free trial and 50% off their first month when they use code FOUL at checkout. Download the HOF app on iOS or Android. Enter code FOUL and you're all set.
We are back, guys. Edmundo Sosa keeps starting against left-handed pitching. Bryson Stott is starting against right-handed pitching. It seems like it's a platoon. It sure is a platoon. And I think this is the way that Rob Thompson is going to keep going. He's going to keep riding it out this way. I know we've talked a lot about it would be great to see Bryson Stott get some opportunities against left-handed pitching, but doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. Like I said, Sosa this season against lefties is batting 438, OPS over 1,000, and 32 at bats against lefties. Bryson Stott is batting 233, 570 OPS, and 30 at bats against lefties. Sosa overall this season is batting 377 with a 926 OPS. And so I think Rob's just is like, in my opinion, it's like if Sosa had come down to earth and say he was hitting 260, 250, striking out a bunch, and then I think you might see Stott get some opportunities against left-handed pitching. But the fact that Sosa, every time he plays against lefties, seems to get a hit or two and seems to do something positive. I think Rob Thompson's just like, I got to keep throwing this guy out here. Yeah,
the numbers bear it out. I mean, his performance against left-handers, you got to get him in there. And I don't know if it'll be that way all season. I still think Stott at some point it'll tip in his favor. But as right now with Sosa swinging it and making an impact. Every time he's in the lineup, he makes an impact. You have to get creative and find ways to get him in there because he helps you win ball games.
Yeah, he's definitely makes an impact. Every time he steps on the field, he does something. I noticed something about him. Do you know he's one of the fastest sprint speed guys in all of baseball? He's like number 7 or 8 or some crazy number like that. I was looking at that because I saw Bobby Witt and I was looking at Johan and also Turner, because they're up there in the top 5. But I think Sosa's like 7th or something.
He is tied for Ruben. He is tied for 12th in baseball, and that's out of, just to put this into perspective, out of 429 players. Yeah, so he's a burner.
He's not necessarily a base stealer, but he can really run. So here's my take. I mean, I like to see Bryce Stott play every day, but the guy has to play. He has to. I mean, Edmundo Sosa needs to get his at-bats. And do I wish maybe he could play center or left field? Yes. I'm not sure. I know they sort of experimented with it. I'm not sure that they felt comfortable enough with that experiment. I wish there were 10 positions on the field so the guy could be in there, but Schwarber hits so well against lefties, he's not going to come out. So he's going to continue to DH and do his thing. And it's sort of a tough situation for Rob Thompson to be in, but a good one. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I'd love to see Stott lead off every day, lefty or righty. But the way things are going right now, man, they're trying to win games. So let's win games with the best lineup I can possibly throw out there. And Sosa has to be part of that equation. So, yeah. They're not in the business right now of developing. They're in the business of winning. And so that's why you're going to see Sosa until, he starts to level off, or if he levels off, he may not. This is what you're going to see, I guess.
They are big time in the business of winning. This nucleus is getting older. Huge payroll, a lot of stars, north of 30.
A lot of expectation.
big expectations, and that thinking is going to impact their thinking at the trade deadline. They're going to have to be open-minded to moving someone they don't want to move. And it's going to suck because I'm excited about 4 or 5 of these prospects.
Right.
But you got to win this year, next year. I don't know. You really got to do it. And you got to go all out to try to make it happen.
Yeah, and I sort of feel for Dave Dombrowski a little bit in so much that you almost feel like you have to do something at the trade deadline. That's how I felt when we were in these situations, that you had to add pieces or a piece, because then it becomes a little bit of a downer in the clubhouse. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I really do think it's something that sort of has to happen, and they're going to give up a pretty good player or two to get it done, and that's disappointing. But that's part of the game. That's why you build your system. That's why you have a good scouting director and good international folks to do just that.
But I don't want to add a piece this year to send a message to the clubhouse and charge up the clubhouse. I really think even after we take a look these next handful of weeks at the options, internal options they have in the bullpen, still think they're going to need a good arm down there. Not to just charge people up. I'm talking
they need to add. They need to add.
Oh, yeah.
They want to get better.
Yeah, they definitely need to add something, I think, for sure. And Schwarber's a free agent. We've talked about this. JT Realmuto is a free agent. We've talked about this. Ranger Suarez is a free agent. We've talked about this. And you think they're going to re-sign Schwarber? You got to think that they're going to re-sign Schwarber, but can they re-sign Schwarber and JT? I mean, JT's not having the best year offensively, of course, but gosh, he's so valuable behind the plate. And if you lose him, man, that's a real big blow to the pitching staff, because those guys love throwing to him. And so I do look at this season, and it's not like it's the only opportunity that they're going to have over the next several years to win a World Series. But man, you really do want to strike right now. So you really do, I think, want to try to add if you can. And
you want to have the best possible team you can have in October.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to be facing Mason Miller this weekend in Sacramento. And that's a guy that we talked a lot about last year at the trade deadline. And I'm sure it'll come up again. I mean, the A's are playing, they're okay. They're under 500, but
the A's are playing like crap right now.
Competitive team that
under 500, right? Yeah, they're under.
They've lost like 13 out of 15.
Yeah, they've been struggling. I think they finally their win streak or losing streak.
Losing streak. Yeah, they are at 9.
So they've cratered. I mean, the teams the Phillies are facing here, the Pirates, the Rockies, and the A's. I mean, you talk about making hay. I mean, they could make a lot of hay for a lot of.
And they have. I mean, they've won every game so far.
I mean, they can keep doing it. The A's are they have absolutely cratered. But Mason Miller, if they want to stick him in the luggage rack on the way home, I think they could find room for him.
I don't know.
They're going to take a lot because they got 3 years of
4 years, and they've tried. They've tried on Mason Miller last summer, this winter. We're talking about Bohm and Mason Miller. Those guys were all, they approached Oakland about that, and that control is so valuable for the A's. But if they're going to want a lot, because, like you said, the 4 years of control. He throws 102, and he just blows people away.
Yeah, good.
That's pretty good. It seems like such a luxury too for a team like that might not win in the next couple of years. Do you need a guy throwing 100? I mean, you need a guy throwing 100.
They're going to do well because there's about 4 or 5 teams who could really use a closer. They're going to maximize, and I don't blame them. And they're going to get 2 or 3 or 4 prospects that are outstanding, and the Phillies have them. But the question is that price going to be too heavy?
Right. I mean, if the A's called Dave Dombrowski today and said, well, Aiden Miller, let's start with Aiden Miller, Mick Abel, Eduardo Tai. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, to me, any one of those guys, you got to go, oh my God, we got to.
It makes life tough, but at the end of the day, they are prospects.
True.
They would be future Las Vegas A's.
They sure would be.
And also
really good ones.
And also, it's like
That's what makes it tough, because when we made our deals, they were guys that were a little bit further away. And when we got, the Oswalts and the Hunter Pences of the world, and even, Doc Halliday and Cliff Lee, I mean, we didn't really give up. We gave up what we thought were pretty good players, but I don't think there would be the level of these types of players, and because these guys are going to make an impact in the big leagues.
And I just think too, like, either you go for it or you don't go for it. Isn't there some aspect of that as well, right? I mean, either you
can't put half your foot in. You need to put all 10 toes in, baby.
That's right. Either you go for it or you don't. You don't hold on to a prospect because you're scared, and then you lose the World Series, and you go, "Oh man, if we had just given up Eduardo Taijuan, we could have gotten Mason Miller or whomever." If to say that was the last piece, and then you go for the rest of your life going, "I wonder if we would have won the World Series if we had made that deal." I think you got to try.
Sometimes you got to make the run.
Yeah, you got to make the run. That's right. Even if it doesn't work out, you got to try. So. Jim, got a lot of questions. I know you're not going to mention it, but I got a lot of questions of the Roy Sievers story. You want to come clean it? You want to come clean on Roy Sievers?
You got to answer it. Answer.
I can't.
All right.
I can't give up the. I can't do that.
The info.
It's not like
it's not salacious or anything, though.
Yeah, it's not salacious. It's just like, it's just I don't feel like.
Okay.
You feel uncomfortable.
Huh?
You feel uncomfortable telling the story.
It's a little uncomfortable.
How about this? I want to. Matt Gelb sent out a tweet today. I don't know if I thought this was kind of funny. Johan Rojas goes in the stands. Did you guys see this? He walks.
I heard about that. He goes in the stands. He can't get back.
Yeah. Security.
That's that Coors Field security guard. They are. They are. They're just too enthusiastic about their job.
Very enthusiastic.
Like they have to remember in the press box, they read over your shoulder and they walk you out. I used to, oh my God, it used to drive me nuts. And the guy that would check your bag, you'd be at the end of a 7-day road trip and he'd be going through your suitcase because you're trying to make a flight.
He's the best. He's the best.
Todd, you know that guy.
I do know the guy. I know after the games, the guy would come up to you and go, "How many more minutes you give me riding?"
Yeah, he'd be like, I'd be like, "Oh yeah," like I'd just be settling in, he'd be reading over your shoulder. He goes, "You dangled that participle." Get out of here!
I'm trying to create some art here, guys. Come on, I'm trying to create a masterpiece. Oh my gosh,
Funny.
Officious.
They were. Hey, it's Memorial Day weekend. Are you guys, Jimmy, you got anything going on the grill? People always like to hear what you got cooking. Ruben, you got any big plans?
I have no plans yet. I'm still formulating.
Yeah, me too.
Are you thinking about a nice, maybe, I don't know, corn on the? Do you do corn on the cob? Do you
all
fire
the time? I soak it. It's not corn on the cob season, but yeah, I soak it for about 5 minutes. And I put it on the grill and I roast it and you cook it till it looks like almost like a meteor. The husks. You do it right in the husks. Oh man, it's so good.
Right in the husk, huh? You don't husk it?
No, you soak it and you put it right on the grill in the husk, and that husk, will act as like a natural
protection
steaming device. It roasts and it steams all at once. Oh, you got to do it.
Nice.
Jim, if you do, you got to send us a pic. Throw it up on the old Philly Show Instagram account.
Yeah, when I do some corn, I'll definitely.
Let me know what else are you gonna do? You gonna roast any pig, or you gonna roast? What are you gonna do?
No, I like I said, I really don't know.
Well, you were trying to think about it. It's an important day.
I'm trying to watch my weight.
It's okay. You can still eat, reasonable portions, James.
Exactly. Don't have to go pig out on it. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great weekend. We will be back next week after the Phillies come home from Sacramento.
Sacto.
That's right.
You ever play there, Ruben? You play there?
Play there. Never once in my life. Had a few friends who played there. Scott Cerny and Mike Mussolino were from that area, I think.
So they weren't AAA when you were in the Pacific Coast League?
They were not.
Okay.
No, Sacramento was not a AAA, was not on the PCL when I was there.
Sacramento, the hometown of what famous Philly?
Larry Boa.
Larry Boa and
Boa.
John Vukovic.
John Vuk nearby Sutter Creek, I think.
And Sweet G Greg Vaughn. I used to play with him in Katuitt, and Greg Vaughn was king in Katuitt.
I remember Greg Vaughn. Hit a lot of home runs for the Milwaukee Brewers.
And
That's
you know
right.
who else is from there and from the Sacktoe area?
Rhys Hoskins.
Cool Papa Bell.
Oh, cool Papa Bell.
No, you know who Cool Papa Bell is?
The guy, huh?
Ricky Jordan.
Oh, Ricky Jordan.
He's about cool.
I'm not. I wasn't jubilating them. I was jubilating myself.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
There's some good players that came from Sacktoe.
Sure.
It's not a big city necessarily.
Dusty Baker from there?
He might be. He might be. Although was he a Bay Area guy?
I don't know. Andrew Knapp was from that area.
Rhys Hoskins, right?
I think
He
Reese
went to school there. Yeah, he's from the Sacramento area.
Yeah. He went to Sacramento State, right?
good players that came from there, man. There's a lot more. I mean, we're missing a ton of them, but
yeah,
that's the recall.
It'll be interesting to see what that ballpark looks like, how it plays this weekend. You know, who knew the Phillies would be playing in 2 minor league parks in a month? But here we are.
It's a strange game.
It is a strange game. That's right, Ruben.
2 minor league parks for a full season, and in Sacktoe more than a full season, and then who knows what's going to happen in Tampa.
Yeah,
but it's the same. It's the same game. Same game. 60 feet 6 inches, 90 feet. Same game.
All that is the same game, but not the venues, James. Not
same
the venue.
game. Same game.
We'll see what the Phillies can do this weekend. They'll see maybe future Phillies reliever Mason Miller.
Okay, I'm not holding my breath.
I'm not either. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. We'll be back. Philly Show will be back next week. If you like us, subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. If you want a Phillies Show t-shirt, you can get a Philly Show t-shirt at thephillyshow.com. We do appreciate all your support.
Show the show some love.
Yes, that's exactly right. We appreciate the love. I was walking through the ballpark the other day, getting something to eat, and somebody yelled, "Todd Pod." It's funny like the things that people pick up on. You know?
I kind of like when every once in a while somebody grabs me in the ballpark and goes, "Smell you later, Ruben."
It is fantastic. I love it. So thanks to everybody for listening as always. And as the kids like to say, smash that subscribe button. YouTube and Apple and Spotify. So we'll be back next week.
Smell you later, boys.
Smell you, Jim.
The Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to The Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. If you like us, give us a review. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Threads. Find Ruben's analysis before, during, and after Phillies games on NBC Sports Philadelphia, on the Sports Radio 94 WIP Morning Show, and MLB Network. Find Jim at allphly.com. Find me at MLB.com, the Phillies Beat newsletter, and MLB Network.